What's up, guys? Hope everybody's all doing well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora. So we're back in the heavyweight division, talking about Tyson's trilogy against Derek Chisora. This is a fight that, obviously I'm not very excited about. Neither is the rest of the boxing world. It's a pretty much, a stay busy fight, kind of pointless in a lot of boxing fans' opinions, including mine. I really didn't want to see this fight out of all the opponents he could have picked. I think this is, a pretty poor fight. We saw the second fight really wasn't even a fight. It was less than a sparring session. I mean, it was like a cat playing with a fucking mouse in the. He was tapping him with the back of his glove, flicking him with the jab. He wasn't even hitting Chisora hard in the second fight. He was really playing around with him, just tapping him. There was no threat coming back from Chisora, who was out of ideas, exhausted, couldn't close the gap. I mean, the thing is, like, look, even Peter Fury was saying it, just play with him like a cat with a mouse, or a cat with a little ball of wool, which he was doing because, I mean, he really wasn't sitting down on any of the shots versus Chisora. Chisora's his mate, and that's really why we've got this trilogy, is because, he's organizing a quick 5 mil or 10 mil for Chisora. One of his mates send him off into retirement with a quick 5 or 10 mil. So, I mean, I get that. It's nice what he's doing there, because he said that when he was making his comeback. He said that, what was it, 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when he started making his comeback after being out of the sport for that period of time. He said he's going to come back, win the belts, and give Chisora another shot at the belts, give his old pal another shot. So that's what he's doing here. So in that sense, he is a man of his word, because a lot of times, he'll say one thing and do the complete opposite, and, people don't, you take his opinion with a grain of salt. Well, in this case, he is doing what he said he was going to do, and giving his mate another shot at the belts, another big paycheck. But if you go back and, when Tyson fought Derek the first time, it was, at least then it was a little bit of a fight. Chisora had some moments. Both of them were, much younger. Chisora was really still undefeated at that time, I think, and he was kind of being built to be he was supposed to fight. I think he was supposed to fight Klitschko for the belts, and then the fight fell through with Vladimir, I think, and then Tyson ended up getting the fight and upset the apple cart back then, or whatever. But when you move to the second fight and you see how much Tyson had progressed, to where he kind of just played with Chisora, tapping him on the head until his eyes closed up, and then he was still talking to the ref, telling the ref, stop the fight, this guy can't defend himself, I'm playing with him, he's going to get hurt, and then he would maybe sit down on 1 or 2 shots, and it would wobble Chisora, and he'd step back and look at the ref again, saying, stop the fight, you're going to get this guy hurt. So it really wasn't a fight. Now Chisora, he didn't quit, but when Don Charles threw in the towel in the corner, there was no arguments from Chisora, because he knew he couldn't do anything, and he was getting beaten up. Now, was Fury hitting him as hard as he could? No, because he felt bad for him. But, he's a big man still, hitting you. Like, he wasn't hitting him hard, but he was hitting him a lot, because Chisora was, trudging forwards, with no head movement. And that's the other thing, like, if you're going to try and, load up and drill Chisora when he's coming in, then he may be able to catch you if you miss him when he moves his head and you're trying to crack him with one shot. But the way Tyson was doing it in that second fight was he was flicking him with the jab, so he was never overcommitted or out of position. So even if he missed, or Chisora was able to block or slip a few jabs, there was another 3 or 4 shots coming right behind it, and Tyson's out of reach still, because he's keeping Chisora on the end of those shots, flicking his jab and just touching him, keeping him under control, keeping him at bay, at distance. Tyson's got better. I mean, Chisora hasn't got the slowest feet in the heavyweight division. He hasn't got feet like Bowman Stevern or something, but Tyson moves too well for a guy like Chisora to be able to cut the ring off on him while getting hit with jabs from all the way across the ring. So, Tyson, he's going to have another easy payday and another easy night's work. And Chisora is going to come in and take a bit of punishment, because at this stage of Tyson's career, he is trying to be more exciting, because he's gotten a bit more love from the fans now that he's fighting a bit more aggressively, and he's fighting to take people out and try and, do some damage and hurt people. So I'm expecting in this fight for him to probably knock out Chisora, I'd say at least before 6 rounds, because he's going to get hit a lot more than Dillian Whyte, because he's going to take more risks than Dillian, and he's going to come in with his chin tucked in trying to swing bombs as Chisora. So he's going to get hit, and he's going to get hit earlier than Dillian Whyte did. And we've seen Chisora's chin is no longer what it used to be. He used to have a very good chin, but he's been hit so much, by a lot of big punches, that his chin has really, it's gone downhill. I mean, he was getting wobbled by Kubrat Pulev, not really a puncher. We saw Joseph Parker had him all over the place many times in that fight. Now, Parker can hit a little bit, but he's not a great big puncher. I mean, when Parker stepped up to world level, the knockouts really stopped on Parker's record. Same with Kubrat Pulev. I mean, he's a big guy, but he hasn't got many knockouts on his record. He's mainly a jab with Kubrat Pulev. Chisora's still tough, and he's still game, and he's going to come in and swing some big old overhand slaps and bombs, as Tyson likes to say when he talks about Chisora, which is very true. I mean, technically, Chisora's very crude in there, and Tyson's going to see that all coming, because he's going to have Chisora on the end of a jab, and Chisora's going to be throwing those bombs from the back of the arena. It's not going to land on Tyson, so it's really not a competitive fight. But, the fight's official, so that's what we're getting. They've sold 60,000 tickets already or whatever. So that's the fight that's happening. Will I tune in and watch? I probably will. If they show it in South Africa, if they show it on SuperSport, I probably will tune in and watch. But if they don't show it, I won't go out of my way to try and get the fight on. I might watch it whenever it comes on or whenever I see it. But it's too much of a one-sided fight. It's not a competitive fight. That's my opinion on it. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. Is anybody out there actually looking forward to this fight? The only thing that I won't complain about is we are getting the Usyk versus Fury fight after this. It looks like both parties are already in negotiations for that, and I'm pretty sure we will get that fight in either February or March. So I'm not going to complain about it too much, because we are going to get the undisputed fight right afterwards. So it's just a stay busy fight for Tyson and a paycheck for Chisora, who has had a lot of paychecks, but I mean, he probably deserves it. He's been one of the more entertaining fighters in the heavyweight division throughout his career, so he probably deserves it. But he's going to take another beating in there, and let's hope he doesn't take too much damage in there, and maybe the ref stops it, or he gets clipped early and goes out, because I mean, otherwise he's going to end up taking some more brain damage in there. But let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions on this fight in the comment section below. That's what I think about it. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.